What's up, everybody? Flan Speaks back for another video on sports here. This is something that I haven't done in a while, where I haven't really commented on the comments of a commentator. But for anyone who's been following my channel's relatively new. But when I did start out, I used to do this a little bit more. Because these talking heads, they're out there just talking out of their rear end and things like that, and they really have nobody to check them. And this is part of what I do. You see, with my channel, I'm dealing with sports, but I'm trying to be a little bit different from what you have. You got some guys out here, they're just imitating, some of the TV shows. They want to have the microphone, have the studio, and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But you'll be imitating guys like Gottlieb here. Others do just pure reaction stuff. I try to combine both, and then also do a little bit of this just to add a little something different that I think is fun. I don't really like to just do what everyone else is doing. But at any rate, here, Doug Gottlieb yesterday, after the Jalen Hurts great start, in my opinion, against the New Orleans Saints, he had some commentary here that I disagree with, and it's kind of typical of what happens with a lot of these talking heads when they have a certain position that they've had for a while, and then after a while they maybe have found to be wrong or inaccurate in a prediction, and then it's difficult for them to kind of admit when they're right, or when they're or especially admit when they're wrong. They can always admit when they're right. But anyway, we're going to go listen to what he has to say about Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to comment. All right.
To who the Steelers really are. And that's when the honeymoon phase is over. So Jalen Hurts completed 57% of his passes, 56% of his passes, 167 yards passing, 5.5 yards per attempt, threw for a touchdown. He also rushed for 106 yards. And we're going to do the thing. He's going to start this week against the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to do the thing where, oh, you're wrong about Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. You're wrong about Jalen Hurts. And okay. Look, I'm not saying that it wasn't great that a guy who many people thought, myself included, he's not a long-term starting quarterback in the NFL, won a game for a team that just needed to win a game. Eagles just needed to win a game. And they found it.
I'm going to continue with his commentary, however. But as you notice, he started with Jalen Hurts' stats. And the reason he did that is because he feels as though this supports his argument. He says that Jalen Hurts completed 56% of his passes, and he mentioned that he threw for pedestrian 165 yards or 9 yards, something of that nature. And then his rating, right? And that is just one touchdown. If it was 3 touchdowns, he probably wouldn't have started with the stats. It would have been something else. But what I'm going to do is go in on showing why stats are for losers, as I said in my post-game video. And I'm going to show why this guy does not know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to football. All right. The first thing I'll say about the stats, anytime you're going into a football game and a team is putting together a game plan, they're putting together a game plan to defeat a particular opponent. This particular opponent being the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints came into the game boasting the number one defense. One of the top aspects of their defense is their defense against the passing game, and they boast 2 very good cornerbacks, actually 3, I would say. Patrick Robinson being their nickel corner, who won a Super Bowl with the Eagles in 2017. So the Eagles are going to respect Patrick Robinson, his skills. They also have the great Marshon Lattimore, right? Lattimore is actually maybe after Jalen Ramsey, the best young cover corner in the game today. And then they also have, I believe, Eli Apple, who had a lot of promise, who was a high first-round pick as well. All right, so this is what the Eagles were up against, along with Malcolm Jenkins, a safety who the Eagles are going to respect because he won the Super Bowl with us here. And also, I don't know the name of the other safety that they have, but he's not bad, number 43. I saw him. That guy actually can play. The Eagles were coming in with one of the worst passing offenses in the league, of course, led by Carson Wentz. and led by a receiving corps that people consider to be trash. I don't consider the Eagles receiving corps to be trash. I believe the major problem was Carson Wentz's inability to effectively run the offense. However, even with that said, the Eagles had to see that they were at a disadvantage in the passing game. When you have Jalen Reagor as in the number one slot, or Alshon Jeffrey in the number one slot, going up against Marshawn Lattimore, and then Apple going up against him, and then Ward going up against Patrick Robinson, the Eagles are at a disadvantage. So anyone who believes that the Eagles were going to go into this game and air it out and expect Jalen Hurts to score, to pass for over 400 yards or 350 or anything like that is an idiot and does not know anything about football when it comes to practical planning for a game. Football is just like war, in that you can apply the art of war, where Sun Tzu will tell you to always look for your advantage versus the opponent. You don't feed into the strength of the opponent, right? And that's what Doug did, and that's what Jalen Hurts did, and that's one of the reasons why I say he played an excellent game. At any rate, let's go ahead.
Way to win. And the Saints are a good team. So in no way am I diminishing the Saints.
The Saints were on a 9-game winning streak and were the hottest team in the league.
Well, he ran for 106 yards, and that's against a great run defense. Well, yeah, they're designed to stop a traditional running game and a traditional passing game, which it...
No excuse for that at all. There's no excuse for that. Quarterbacks have been running since, and even before Randall Cunningham. Matter of fact, Frank Tarkenton of this is what I'm saying. He's not going to be able to get away with this stuff with a guy like me, because I'm a historian of football. I'm not some Johnny come lately that's only going to act like running quarterbacks started with Cam Newton or Michael Vick. No, Frank Tarkenton ran the ball. Starbuck, who was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, made plays with his legs. Randall Cunningham made plays with his legs. Steve Young made plays with his legs. It was always a plus for a quarterback to make plays with their legs if it's possible for them to do so. And it's not some new wave thing here now. Now, the RPOs and everything may be new, but the idea of a quarterback being able to beat you with his legs, and is not something new, and is not an excuse for the Saints defense. The Saints defense knows enough about Jalen Hurts to assess that his legs, especially in his first start, will be more of a problem for them than his arm. They did know enough about him from college to be able to assess that. So I do not accept that as an excuse for the Saints. And this is what he's going to try to do, because he's going to find any way to try to belittle the performance of Jalen Hurts. Anyway.
It's not. And look, even the touchdown pass, the back shoulder throw on 4th and 2. Keep in mind, they went for it on 4th and 2 all the time, which their head coach does. But they basically ran a college offense.
All right. Now let's decompose this nonsense he's saying. He's saying that the Eagles went for it on 4th and 2. So what? Going for it on 4th down is an option. And also he mentioned that Doug Peterson is known for doing that. So also there, the Saints defensive staff should be prepared for Doug Peterson going for it on 4th down, because that's what he does. Like, what are you talking about, Gottlieb? Right? If you have a coach that goes for it on 4th down, he said that's what he does. Okay, then the Saints should have been prepared for it. Again, not an excuse. And your argument is weak.
We've seen work a million times over in short doses. And if you think 56% completion percentage is going to do it, 167 yards passing is going to do it, you're mistaken.
It's going to do what? It beat the Saints. All right, first of all, the completion percentage of Jalen Hurts is a deceptive stat, and I'm going to tell you why. Jalen Hurts was going at the number one defense of the Saints, and by all accounts, the Eagles' offensive line is considered shattered. It's considered broken. It's missing 4 of its starters. Okay, it's missing its left tackle. It's missing its right tackle, Lane Johnson. It's missing its right guard in Brandon Brooks. Okay, in situations where we're healthy, the Eagles will do a much better job. Jalen Hurts half the time was running because the right guard was getting beat right up the middle. So many of his runs came from that. All right, so Gottlieb, what the hell is he supposed to do if that's what's happening? All right, the completion percentage is what it was because Jalen Hurts was actively throwing the ball away. Right, which analyzing a quarterback just by looking at stats outside of the context leads to idiotic statements like this and being a person that I would never go to learn from. Now, or to take from when it comes to their opinion. You can't take this guy serious. Completion percentage does not factor in balls that are intentionally thrown away by Jalen Hurts, which was the smart play. He should not be out there trying to complete the passes just so his completion percentage will be high. No, you're trying to win a game. You're not trying to get a bunch of stats, Doug. So I saw at least 4 instances where Jalen Hurts just threw the ball away. One in the end zone, one where he ran to the sideline to the right and he threw that away, and a couple of others. So that's a very deceiving stat. And what do you mean it's not going to do? It's not going to do what? It'll beat a game that you have to play against a particular opponent that you are at a disadvantage with, which is the goal. You idiot. Let's go on.
It's clean and simple, and if you didn't like what you read, then you run the football. That's what Oklahoma had him do. And it was effective yesterday. No one's saying it wasn't effective. No one's saying that Jalen Hurts is not good in that style. The problem remains that style doesn't work long-term once people see it on tape.
What style? What style? That's the question. I'm going to go into it later, but what style? But when I start to break down with Jalen Hurts, who he actually is as a quarterback.
Lamar and the Ravens play the Browns today. Lamar is the best we have ever seen in the National Football League at whatever you want to term Greg Roman's read, option, etc. style. Dual threat quarterback style, but where you're as much of a runner as you are a thrower.
First of all, this is another thing that's not going to fly. Lamar Jackson is not the best at playing that style. He's not. Michael Vick also played that style where he ran for over 1,000 yards and also Michael Vick was able to get his team to the NFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson is yet to get past the first round of the playoffs. Michael Vick played the same style and got to the NFC Championship game. So who do you think is better? Okay? Randall Cunningham in the early 90s ran for almost 1,000 yards, ran for 942 yards rushing, passed for over 3,500 yards, okay, and was MVP of the league and was deemed the ultimate weapon. Okay, Lamar Jackson and his style is not anything new, and he's not the best at it. So that's bullcrap. All right? And then I'm going to go in a little bit on this here, too. If Doug would have taken the chance to actually study Jalen Hurts or watch some of his interviews, Jalen Hurts not too long ago after the Green Bay game, which was a completely different game from this here, by the way, is in that game, Hurts threw for 109 yards passing, including a touchdown of over 40 yards to Greg Ward in the end zone, and came in mid-third quarter. So if he comes in mid-third quarter and passes for 109 yards, if he plays the whole game, he's on pace to throw for over 300 yards in that game. So for Doug Gottlieb to assume that Jalen Hurts is going to play every game against every defense the same way he played against the Saints, number one defense, he's a moron. He's not giving this guy his due, and he's not being fair in his assessment, and he should not be speaking on television if this is what he's going to be doing or be taken seriously by anyone who watches his show.
Those things, it's like we want so badly to prove our argument that we won't admit that how many times did they go for it on fourth down, which is why do you have to go for it on fourth down? Because you didn't actually get it on third down, which is the most important down in the NFL, right?
Yeah, but Doug does that with Carson Wentz also.
Quarterbacks get paid for completing passes on third down. That's what they get paid for. Ask anybody. That's what they get paid for. And that style of offense, once teams see it, adjust to it. becomes increasingly difficult once you get past 3rd and 6th.
What style of offense? You had to play the way you had to play to beat the Saints. All right, number 2, when Jalen Hurts in an interview was asked about the quarterbacks he emulate, who did he mention? He mentioned Aaron Rodgers, right? Jalen Hurts did not mention Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts did not mention Michael Vick. Jalen Hurts did not mention what's another guy? He didn't mention those guys. The 2 guys he mentioned was Russell Wilson and he mentioned Aaron Rodgers. These are the quarterbacks he's looking to emulate. Guys who can do it both ways, who can run when necessary and can pass the ball. But I submit to you, the reason Jalen Hurts ran was because his line was getting consistently beat by the Saints. And then there was a few design runs, which is fine. But no way in the world was there 18 design runs, nor was it a style of football that you would think that the Eagles are going to do every week. Because against Green Bay Packers, we saw a spread offense where he was passing the ball more. He was running again because the offensive line was getting beat. He's just doing what he has to do, which is what you expect your quarterback to do. Now, where you should be giving Jalen Hurts credit is in his sliding, passing the ball, throwing the ball away, and getting out of bounds and not taking good hits. All things that you should be looking at. Besides some damn stats.
It just is. So, did it help their running game? Of course. When you're going to run the football that much, even the weakest of offensive linemen, that's what they like to do. That's what they do best. Did they win the game? Sure. And did it give them some breathing room to but like, we didn't learn anything about Jalen Hurts long term. Long term, that's not what the Eagles want to run offensively.
All right, can we just let the guy play one game? We'll see what happens next week. This dude's a moron, because you beat the Saints.
And I think we all know how this ends. The problem is, does it end with the peaceful transition back to Carson Wentz? Right? There's a lot
Carson Wentz, who with the same team Jalen Hurts is playing with, got his ass kicked for 12 weeks. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. Why the hell did they draft Jalen Hurts if that's all they want to do? Come on, man. Stop it.
Parallels there, right? Is there a peaceful transition back? Because, yes, he's going to...
And let's keep it real. The problem with Carson Wentz also here in Philadelphia is I'm here in Philly, right? Many of the arguments of the people who actually support Carson Wentz and were against Doug Peterson, their argument is that Carson Wentz is not an effective pocket passer. And Carson Wentz has to be rolled out. Carson Wentz has to run more. Carson Wentz should do this and should do that, right? Because whenever any particular thing isn't working, they want to do the opposite. That's just the way most fans are, because they aren't very insightful. So, at any rate, what they want Carson Wentz to do, Jalen Hurts is just better at doing. So the argument, it's just ridiculous.
He was going to start for more than one game anyway, right? They weren't just going to go, hey, Carson, sit for one game, and then you're back in. Like, no, he's got a lot of work to do. But, look at the other side of the ball. Like, here's what's crazy. The same people that are like, Taysom Hill can't be a long-term answer at quarter. The Saints are the same people trying to tell you Jalen Hurts is the answer for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay.
So you equating them to Taysom Hill. Jalen Hurts, a second-round pick, had a great college career, was a Heisman finalist, to Taysom Hill, who wasn't even drafted. You know what? I don't even want to call you what I think you are. You know what I mean? I don't even want to get into all of that, because that starts a whole riff, and I don't like to accuse people of that sort of thing. But dude, you got issues, homie. You got issues, man. And I'm a...
Hey. Sure. Hey. Okay.
This little arrogant prick ass nigga, excuse me for using that, but this little arrogant prick, man, he has issues, man. And like I said, I just put this together to just dismantle him real quick. His arguments were weak, bogus, and fake. And, like I said, this is going on too long, so I'm out.